Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I am delighted to see so many of you here today. Today, we will be exploring the management and control of labels used in QC laboratories. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. Over the course of this presentation, we'll cover important aspects of label management, including best practices, control mechanisms, and how to ensure accuracy in a quality control setting. I look forward to sharing valuable insights with you all. Let's get started. The objective of label management is to ensure that all labels used throughout the quality control workflow are accurate, clear, unique, and tamper-evident. This is essential for maintaining the integrity of the testing process. Our goal is to make sure that every sample is correctly identified, that test instructions are precise, and that there's a system in place to prevent mix-ups or transcription errors. Additionally, labels must be securely stored and archived for future reference, and an audit trail should be maintained to track any changes or issues. Now, why does label control matter so much in the QC lab? Well, labels are crucial for sample identification and traceability. They help ensure data integrity, which is key for reliable results. If labels are incorrect or unclear, it can lead to wrong test results, which might cause regulatory noncompliance or even product recalls. That's why regulatory standards like GMP, ISO 9001, ISO 17025, ICH guidelines, and WHO laboratory guidelines emphasize strict label control. In essence, proper labeling isn't just about organization. It's about safeguarding quality, compliance, and ultimately, patient safety. Let's take a closer look at the regulatory framework and the key standards that are referenced here. These standards are essentially the backbone of how we ensure compliance, safety, and consistency across our operations. They serve as a set of proven guidelines that help us meet legal requirements and industry best practices. It's important to understand that these standards are not just arbitrary rules. They are carefully developed to promote transparency, protect stakeholders, and foster trust. When we refer to these standards, we're aligning our processes with recognized benchmarks, which ultimately supports the overall integrity of our work. Connecting this to our overall theme, understanding and adhering to these key standards helps us stay ahead of regulatory changes and demonstrates our commitment to quality and safety. It also ensures that we're operating efficiently and ethically within the framework set out by regulators and industry authorities. So, in essence, these standards are vital to maintaining our credibility and ensuring sustainable success. Let's take a closer look at the label content standards, which are essential for maintaining consistency and accuracy throughout the entire label lifecycle in our QC lab. First, we start with label creation, where the initial design and information are developed to meet our standards. Next is review and authorization, a critical step to ensure all details are correct and approved before moving forward. Once approved, the labels are printed, which must be done with precision to avoid errors. Then, the labels are affixed to the items, ensuring they stay securely in place and are easily visible. After that, the labels are used and updated as necessary. This could mean refreshing information or replacing damaged labels to keep everything current. Finally, there's archival and disposal, where outdated or invalid labels are properly stored or safely disposed of, maintaining compliance and safety standards. By following these steps carefully, we ensure our labeling process supports quality, traceability, and regulatory compliance across the lab. Let's talk about barcode integration and its benefits. Using barcodes can significantly reduce transcription errors, which is crucial for maintaining accuracy in sample handling. They also help us track sample movement throughout the process, ensuring everything stays organized and traceable. Plus, barcodes improve our audit readiness by providing clear, verifiable records. Now, regarding where we place these barcodes, common locations include the outer pouch, the inner vial, and during scan events in our Laboratory Information Management System, or LIMS. Proper placement is key to efficient scanning and tracking. When it comes to label types, printed labels are generally preferred. They offer better clarity, consistency, and traceability, especially since they can be generated directly from our LIS or LIMS systems, ensuring accuracy. Handwritten labels are only used when printers are unavailable. In those cases, the labels must be written in indelible ink to prevent smudging or fading, and they should be verified by a second person to minimize errors. Lastly, there are different label formats to consider, depending on the sample or situation. Choosing the right format helps us maintain consistency and integrity throughout our workflow. Let's take a closer look at the controls we have in place for label printing. First, printer access controls. Only authorized staff members are permitted to print labels, ensuring that access is restricted to those who need it. We also keep detailed printer logs that are audited weekly to maintain accountability and track usage. Additionally, printer ribbons and label stock are carefully controlled to prevent any misuse or mix-ups. Moving on to printer output verification. Before a label is finalized, we perform a print preview check to catch any errors early. We also verify that the sample ID matches the product to ensure accuracy and traceability. Now, regarding label template management, we follow a strict template control protocol. All master templates are maintained electronically to keep things consistent and secure. Any changes or edits require proper change control approval, so no unauthorized modifications occur. It's also important to note that template fields cannot be removed, which helps maintain the integrity of the label information. And each template includes a version or revision date directly on the label, so we can easily track updates and ensure we're using the latest version. Let's look at an example of controlled template fields. You'll see fields like product, batch, sample type, generated by, date, and barcode. These are standard fields that we control tightly to ensure consistency and compliance across all labels. Overall, these controls help us maintain high standards for accuracy, security, and compliance in our labeling process, which is a key part of our overall quality management system. Let's talk about label affixing and handling best practices. First, it's important to affix your labels immediately after printing. This helps prevent any mix-ups or lost information. Next, always use the appropriate adhesive, something resistant to chemicals and moisture. This ensures the label stays put, even in challenging environments. Remember, do not cover critical fields with tape. Covering important information can lead to errors or misidentification. To give you a clear example, let's look at some do's and don'ts. A good practice is to place the barcode on a vertical surface, which makes scanning easier and more reliable. On the other hand, wrapping a label around a vial cap is a big no-no because it can make the barcode difficult to scan or read. Overall, proper label handling is key to maintaining accuracy and traceability in our processes. By following these simple best practices, we help ensure safety and efficiency across the board. All right, let's talk about handling corrections. When making corrections, it's important to follow the established rules to keep everything clear and professional. Minor corrections, for instance, must be authenticated. That means you need to sign off on them to show they've been approved. You should use a single-line strike-through to make the correction visible, and then initial it along with the date. This way, everyone knows who made the change and when. It's essential to avoid using whiteout or erasing, as those methods can make the document look messy and less trustworthy. For example, if you receive a document and need to make a correction, you'd strike through the incorrect part, initial it, and write the date. This process helps maintain the integrity of the document and ensures transparency. Remember, these rules are in place to keep our documentation accurate and professional, which is crucial in maintaining trust and clarity across all our communications. Let's talk about label revision and obsolescence. First, when should labels be revised? Well, there are a few key situations. One is when there's a change in the regulated field, meaning if the rules or requirements from regulatory bodies change, our labels need to reflect those updates. Another is when we update our software or templates. Anytime we make improvements or modifications there, the labels must be revised accordingly. Lastly, if a regulatory inspection finds an issue with a label, that's a clear sign we need to revise it to stay compliant. Now, moving on to obsolete labels. These are labels that are no longer current or accurate. The first step is to remove old templates from our systems to prevent any accidental use. We also need to archive these obsolete labels both electronically and physically, following our standard operating procedures, or SOPs, to ensure proper record keeping. And importantly, we have to prevent the printing of any obsolete designs. This is crucial to avoid mix-ups or the distribution of outdated information. All of these steps are vital parts of maintaining our compliance and ensuring safety. Keeping our labels up to date and properly managing obsolete ones helps us maintain product integrity and adhere to regulatory standards, which is at the heart of what we're discussing today. Let's talk about training frequency. It's important to have training sessions upon onboarding new team members to ensure they understand our processes from the start. Additionally, I recommend scheduling an annual refresher to keep everyone up to date with best practices and any updates. We should also conduct additional training whenever there are changes to our standard operating procedures, or SOPs, to make sure everyone is aligned with the latest procedures. Now, moving on to training and competency, it's not just about delivering training, but also ensuring that team members are truly competent in their roles. One key area is labeling training. This includes understanding the label creation SOP, which guides how labels are to be created consistently and accurately. We also need to focus on barcode scanning procedures, as accurate scanning is critical for tracking and inventory management. It's essential to be familiar with the correction and reconciliation processes, so any errors can be promptly identified and corrected to maintain data integrity. Finally, understanding audit and inspection expectations is vital. This ensures that everyone knows what auditors will look for and how to prepare for inspections, helping us maintain compliance and operational excellence. Overall, these training points are designed to strengthen our team's skills and uphold the quality standards that support our overall goals. Now, let's talk about what regulators will be looking for during inspections. First, it's important to complete tracer exercises. This means demonstrating how we track a product through every stage of production and distribution, showing that we have full control over our processes. Next, we need to be prepared to demonstrate control of label records. Regulators want to see that our labels are accurate, properly maintained, and that we have a clear record of all label versions. Showing our corrective actions is also key. If any issues have arisen, we should be ready to discuss how we identified and fixed them promptly. This demonstrates our commitment to continuous improvement and quality assurance. Moving on to audit and compliance monitoring, we have a set of internal checks to ensure everything stays on track. For example, with our internal audit checklist, we verify that label content matches standards, and that we're using the correct template versions. We also check handwritten labels to ensure they're clear and accurate, and that printer logs are properly maintained to track label printing activity. Finally, controlling obsolete templates is crucial. We need to make sure outdated templates are removed from circulation to prevent any accidental use. Overall, these points highlight the importance of being thorough, organized, and proactive in our compliance efforts. Staying ahead of these expectations not only helps us pass inspections smoothly, but also reinforces our commitment to quality and safety throughout our operations. For further support, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional information you might need. Remember, your success is our priority, and we're committed to providing you with the resources and assistance necessary to achieve your goals. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. We truly appreciate your engagement and look forward to working with you moving forward.